I lie. So I'm all cozied up in the living room, you know. Lights are off. I'm about to look at some ASMR. And then I get an ad before my ASMR starts, whatever. It's an ad advertising, you know, a specific kind of crystal girl, a specific kind of crystal, whatever, to help with manifesting a certain person back in your life. It was, and like he was talking about like manifesting a person back in your life, like an ex or whatever. And at one point in the ad, it was like, y'all stop judging people for wanting their exes back. You like something like that, like you know nothing about their lives or whatever. And firstly, I'll just say this, like me give it, girl, given the fact that, you know, experience, like from doing tarot for other people as well too, naturally reconciliation is the number one thing that people really seem to go for sometimes. But it's also important that people remember that you left somebody or someone, or you guys are at this certain point of not being together more for a reason. I think that, I mean, myself not excluded, like I can think about like my honestly my I was gonna say my very first and my honestly genuinely like only situationship, which took some years to really, you know, let go of. But it's like whenever you're away from a person, like you just tend to forget all of the reasons why they're not there, why they're not good for you. Suddenly, oh, we're the best person in the world, right? But if there's one thing about time, is that time has proven time and time again that there's always a freaking reason. And the more the more oblivious or ignorant we choose to be about it, the more blatant whatever that thing is gets. And we just kind of dig ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper into some like hole, or just it's put ourselves like in a carousel kind of situation. We're just going round and round and round. So I do think that's a terrible ad, advertising people by luring them in by a crystal to help manifest a person back. And at one point as well, too, in the video, it stated something about like to help, it's gonna help you do this or whatever, something like, just something along the lines of help you tap into your dark feminine energy. First, I'll say, you know, going to a crystal or whatever, or not just going to a crystal, but like use your energy to try to manifest someone back in your life who is only draining your problem, most likely not for you, is definitely not going to do that at all. What you should be doing, perhaps, I would think, is to really sit with the fact is, or try to really understand why is it that you're wanting this person back. What is it that why did you guys break up? You know? You know what I mean? I think it's terrible to just simply encourage a person back. I think it's ridiculous to encourage people to purchase something so that they can like blindly, you know, manifest a person back. And like, listen, a person will be in your life, trust me, for sure, if they're meant to be there, right? I think it just becomes an issue when people forget to, or fail to just understand that, you know, at some point a person has simply served their purpose, and by really clinging on to a person, a thing, place, whatever, can really hold you back. As I always say with this death card on my arm, I talk about the death card a lot, but that's because it's like literally my favorite card in the world. That being said, you know what I mean? Of course, I have my situations where I'll be clinging on to something. You know what I mean? but bless you, BB. But like, endings can be so beautiful if we allow them to. If we allow them to, right? You know, clicking onto something and indicates that we are choosing not to really see the lesson that a certain situation has taught us or is teaching us, whatever. You can just always count on the West to capitalize off of anything, dude. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. It's crazy, dude. I can't. I haven't even checked the site. But I'll be damned if it's like freaking like $20 for that little. Let's look it up. Let me like log into the computer. I have it up here for just like sunlight. I think I remember the name. Hold on. And like, I'm generally like, look, to each their own or whatever, you know, like let a person, you know, try whatever it is they want to. I'm, like I said, I'm not like, I've had my moments where I didn't want to let certain things, people, whatever, go. But I just can't imagine. Oh, girl. $69. Or it was originally $89, but there's some like code or whatever going on. $69, originally $89 for a carnelian necklace. I will say this as well too. I would think that something would be much more efficient in whatever outcome you're wanting by you putting your own energy into it, taking the time to craft it, that being make your own necklace, you know, all this stuff. Craft it. Dude, that's, I mean, like, I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't wrap my mind around, that. You know what I mean? But yeah, seriously, I would say something can be so much more, I don't want to, not the word efficient. What's the other word that I want to use? Potent. By just your own energy alone. I think especially because as we like living in the West as well too, and us and like them just like having really insane prices for these spiritual items, shall I say, you know, can lead a person thinking that the more expensive it is, the more potent or powerful it is. It's not always the case, sweetie. That's not the case. As I always say, not that it's my phrase, But as I always bring up on in my videos, we are all our own gods, and to be a god is to create. I would honestly bring it up a notch as well too, honestly, in saying that. I mean, me personally, I just don't think that having an entire rock collection, not that, I'm not just saying that these are just rocks, these crystals, gems, rocks, whatever, all have their purposes. As I always say, like I said, Earth provides us with all that we need, right? But I would just say that I would say I don't think it is really necessary to have a whole rock collection to, you know what I mean? To aid in the assistance of a certain outcome, is what I'm saying. But hey, people have their own methods to swallow too, and whatever. Like, this is just like honestly, I cannot even wrap my mind around this. I don't want to join the club. I'm really not. Like, this is crazy, diva. Like I said, I'm really not trying to whatever. Like get that bag. By all means, get that bag. I'm just saying, I think it's terrible to be branding oneself in general, right? In general, to be branding oneself as a spiritual entrepreneur, business, whatever. Even straying away from this, and like just like those in the tarot community as well, though, too. To be in that category, but prey on people's weaknesses or desperation, right? Because there are those, in the tarot community as well too, I will say, who will tell you what you want to hear, or things of this nature. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on this or whatever. And like I said, from my experience, honey, like I said, the times where I was very much reluctant to let certain things go, honey, the lessons amplified. And, shook me up. And I needed it.